I'm back in studio. Tarek Patel here on another Thursday.
I'm always in studio. I'm Randy Rosenblum, and this is SoCal Prep Report. Well, we had a lot of great football games last week, a lot of interesting news. We'll talk about that. But to me, the biggest news of the week was Tarek Patel and his wife, Bree, having baby number 2, Alden. So we need, from Tarek, an update.
The only update you need is that everyone's healthy, mom's healthy, baby's healthy, and 9 pounds, 23 inches, so a good sized little boy. And I just tell everybody I'm done. That's it. Got the girl, got the boy, no more.
Your life is perfect, and you even got more goods coming. Look at this.
Wow.
Now, here's the problem.
Okay.
We got a problem.
This is good. This is good.
Okay.
Should I open this right now
Go
on
ahead.
air?
Yeah, go ahead. Here's the problem.
Okay. Oh, this is nice, guys.
Okay, Catherine picked this out.
Oh, this is nice.
My wife.
Okay.
The problem is, we didn't realize your son was going to be 6'5".
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
So
no, this will fit him.
You think this will fit? Okay.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. Oh, this is so nice. Little helicopters. Can we get a little shot on this real quick? Yeah. Camera 3, real quick. We won't take too much. There we go. Little helicopters. This is
so
very nice. There's some other stuff in here too with dinosaurs on it. Thank you very much.
That's it, because that's our budget.
No, we very much appreciative. Thank you to Catherine and the Rosenblums. Thank you very much. That'll go right.
The least we could do.
Oh, that's really nice. Thank you so much.
Baby's here. Everyone's healthy. That's perfect.
That's what matters. Yep.
Speaking of healthy and perfect,
oh yeah,
that describes St. John Bosco's football team. Big game against Santa Margarita, and the story here to me is Koa. He's just a tremendous football player. Koa Malaula, the quarterback of St. John Bosco, young kid still, and he throws 4 more touchdown passes to 4 different receivers, including Madden Williams. And this Bosco team, and I thought they'd win even bigger. This is about the score you predicted. This Bosco team is just rolling.
Yeah, I think I said like 24-10 or something like that, not too far off. You know, Koa Malaulu, only a sophomore, but it's generally when these kids start as freshman quarterbacks and 4 years, like a Ryan Rakowski from Palos Verdes, it's mind-boggling that he's got another year of high school. He's been around so long. Malaulu's been around so long, but he's only a sophomore. There's this weird timing effect. Anyway, point is he's playing like a savvy senior. I think he's got around 30 touchdown throws, and I think he has 1 interception on the year. You might know off the top of your head.
Yeah, that sounds about right. And the reason it seems like he's been around for so long is because they play so many games.
That's true too.
They're always going to the
Deep
finals.
into
They're
November.
going into into tournaments. They play so many games. So Koa is a household name. At Sierra Canyon, they got a lot of household names. They dominate again. They wipe out Notre Dame with Sherman Oaks. This time it was Gerard Terry, a backup running back, 241 yards rushing, and a couple scores for the Blazers.
Yeah, Jackson Stokes was a little banged up, so they sidelined him. He'll be back. He'll be fine. But I think what we're starting to see, in my opinion, is Sierra Canyon is trying to show an emphasis that their offense can score. You know, there's almost a little chip on the shoulder of that offense. Hey, everyone's talking about the defense. Well, the offense can do well, too. So Laird Finkel, their quarterback, he's coming on. He's getting better. And with more confidence, maybe that'll make them a stronger opponent in the playoffs.
They'll do very well. Their defense is great, and we all know about defenses and winning championships. Sierra Canyon is a very dangerous team in D1 in the southern section. Corona Centennial is another powerhouse. Look what they do to Murrieta Valley, although this game was tight for a half. 48-20, and the story is Jaden Walk Green. He's a defensive back, got his 7th interception of the year. But Tark, he brings one of them back for a touchdown. This is his 4th pick 6 of the season.
I actually had the running back, Braylon Drake, message me and go, hey, Mr. Fattel, thanks for the shout out for our team, but just know that Jaden Walk Green, they're not pick 6s, they're pick 7s. And I go, why? He goes, he's the kicker too. How good is that? That kid is probably, Drake needs to be a broadcaster, Braylon Drake. Anyway, I thought that was quite a good little note. So yes, they're pick 6s for sure the most in the Southland, but the fact that he kicks the extra point, they're pick 7s.
Breaking news right here. Pick 7.
Pretty
Not a pick 6.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah, me too. I thought that was really neat. But it just goes to show how athletic he is. And look, you're talking about like an all-CIF performer.
Another big game for Luke Fahey at Mission Viejo, just under 300 yards thrown at 292 and 4 scores. And San Clemente's a decent team. Mission Viejo, no problem.
Yeah, I mean, San Clemente is always a tough out, but Mission Viejo, they have this nice 2-year block. Last year, very good, unbeaten, if I'm not mistaken, through the regular season, and then lost in the semifinals to Corona Centennial in what was like the public school Super Bowl and Hassan Longstreet. Actually, it wasn't the semifinals, it was a quarterfinal. However, this year again, they do have a loss to out of state, so they've only lost one game in California the last 2 seasons.
Very good football team, as is Mater Dei. Now Mater Dei is kind of flying under the radar because they've lost a couple games.
Yeah.
29-19, nice win, but I am still concerned with the Mater Dei offense.
Yeah, and look, this is something I hate to toot my own horn, but come on, Randy, I've been saying this for weeks. Again, I always bring up the Kahuku halftime score told me this Mater Dei team quite isn't as potent as we're used to. They have the 2 losses. They're a very, very good high school football team, but they are not the juggernaut we are used to seeing, and I think it's very unlikely that they win a Southern Section Division I championship.
The one thing I go back to with Mater Dei is the fact, and it was in a loss, they had 29 points in 1 quarter at Corona Centennial. So if that offense shows up sometime down the road, Mater Dei could be a major, major factor. Speaking of major, major factors, this year Los Alamitos undefeated. Lenny Ibarra.
Yes.
He's the story. He's on his way to Army. Running back in this game, 216 yards for Lenny, 41-22 victory, had 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, he leads their team in tackles. I believe he's second in yards rushed and receptions. Tillis is their other running back who's really good, or Tills. I could be butchering that, but they have another running back that's very good. And their coach, Ray Fenton, is just this, like, cool, charismatic, almost, I don't know where he's from. He almost has like a southern drawl, even though that's not how he sounds. Point is he's back to the basics. They have this neighborhood team that's very talented, led by Lenny Ibarra. Great story this season.
Okay, nobody talks about them. They all talk about Sierra Canyon, but Los Alamitos is another team flying under the radar.
Yeah, I would say they are flying under the radar because they don't have a lot of flash. I would say it's almost like St. John Bosco. I said to you before the show, this #1 team in the country might be the least talked about team in recent years, right? And that's because they don't have star power. They've got Koa Malaulu, they got Madden Williams, okay, Dutch Horisk. It's like, who else? Okay, Malik Allen in the backfield. They're just so well coached and so solid throughout. Point is, Los Alamitos, same way, not a lot of superstars.
Crean Lutheran's having a great year. They're undefeated. They knock off La Habra. I expected La Habra to bounce back and win this game, but Crean Lutheran got a tremendous performance from their quarterback, Caden Jones, 314 yards and 5 touchdowns for the Saints.
Yeah, I think this is a team that's going to be good for quite some time. Their best players, if I'm not mistaken, are juniors. So they got another year. Rick Curtis is their coach. This is a Division II team that could take people by surprise.
Next one we want to talk about is Westlake and Newberry Park.
Fun story.
It is a fun story. Westlake wins this game in overtime. Their freshman quarterback, Ford Green, a nice night, 283 yards and 3 touchdown passes. But the story is the coaching staff at Westlake.
Yeah, you got Rick Clausen. For years it's been Casey Clausen, right? Calabasas, Alamany. Now he's like, you know what, dude? You do it. So Rick Clausen now is the head coach, and Casey's the offensive coordinator. This is a team that was 0-10 last year. Now they're 8-0 and have a very high chance of being 10-0.
Another fine team that improved to 5-3 is Palos Verdes, the Sea Kings. The game we had on our air here against Lawndale. 40-14, Palos Verdes came out, had a methodical touchdown drive early. You see the touchdown, the walk-in score for Hernando. They made it look easy. They physically dominated up front. I think these Sea Kings, they're going to play somewhere in the playoffs. They did win a state championship at the 2A level a year ago, and they just made plays. Here's another big play defensively, getting a safety. This is a football team that's well coached by Guy Gardner. I'm impressed with Palos Verdes.
Yeah, and I know you called the game, so I'm going to ask you a question. No Ryan Rakowski. So how did they look without Rakowski? Because he's their star quarterback.
They didn't need him. They were just the dominant football team. The 40-14 score says it all. They just completely controlled the game in the air and on the ground, but especially on the ground, they controlled the action. Here's another touchdown for Hernando. This is the one where he got flagged, which really bothered me because he didn't get flagged for the hurdle, but there's going to be a pose. I don't even know if we're going to see it here. Maybe we will. We didn't show it. Anyway, 40-14. He shouldn't have been flagged,
Right.
believe me on that one. But I do think Palos Verdes is pretty good.
Yeah, that's probably going to be a team that's usually in Division II land, and they're going to drop down and probably be Division III and make a little noise.
CIF Southern Section rankings provided by Tarek Fatal. We know who's number 1, St. John Bosco. We really know who's number 2 as well with Sierra Canyon. Give us a little insight into your top 10 here.
Yeah, I think, yeah, I mean, not a lot of movement. I think Mission Viejo is the team that's moved up a little bit in the most recent rankings after Santa Margarita lost. Mission Viejo really is a team that is going to be sneaky in that Division I playoff. But right now, with 2 weeks to go, looking at that top 10, you're probably looking at those 8 or 9 top teams. I'll just say all those 9 top teams, with the exception of Lusinger, of course, that's going to be your Division I playoff field right there. What order they're going to be in is semantics.
Bosco, Sierra Canyon, with a maybe modern-day Centennial semifinal as well. Those are going to be your final 4. All right, let's move ahead to the LA City section. Garfield got a tremendous performance from Cesar Reyes. This is unbelievable. They knock off Southgate. They are now going to be the Eastern League champions, the Bulldogs. But Reyes, a school record 420 yards and 4 scores.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you get a standout performance in league play in late October or even November in the playoffs, now you're starting to see your name for, like, City Player of the Year. Like, those are the performances. It's like in college football. You go crazy against, Akron, no one cares. But you're an SEC or Big Ten play and you have a big-time game, that's going to get you on the Biletnikoff Award list or like the Heisman Trophy list. So same thing here for Cesar Reyes.
And Reyes is up above 1,600. He's closing in on 1,700 yards rushing this season. Fabulous career and year. He's only a junior. He's tremendous on defense as well. He leads the Bulldogs in tackling. Eagle Rock's going to be your Northern League champions. This is a nice win. Franklin's a good football team.
Yeah, Liam Paston, I mean, that you're talking about another City Player of the Year type athlete. The thing about Eagle Rock, and I think I can safely say this, I don't think they'll be in the Open Division, but man, they really are a front runner to win that Division I field. And they're going to run into a couple sneaky good teams in that division, but they're right in that perfect cusp where they're going to avoid the Open because they're not quite that good, but they should win Division I.
The 2 most exciting teams in the city are Eagle Rock because they score so much. Another one, Palisades. Palisades just gets by an improved University team. University had a chance to win this game in the final seconds, and they fumbled at the Pally 5 at the end of the game, or they would have won it. Pally wins it by 2.
Yeah, the Dolphins are a team that will be in the Open Division, but man, look, this is a good score for them, actually. 19-17, so you were able to it looks like they were able to hold another team less than 4 scores, which is improvement because every week we look at these scores and it's like 5 or 6 touchdowns apiece, and they barely edge teams out. So it's good to see the defense step up a little bit. However, if they get into that Open Division, I don't think they'll beat a Carson or a Birmingham.
Coliseum, great game. King Drew knocking off Dorsey. This game was at LA Southwest College. Big crowd, big win. King Drew right there to win the league.
Yeah, Joe Torres, the coach, our guy, has been on this show before. I think his teams have been on these airwaves as well. Good coach, does it for the right reasons, always has athletes. And so I'm sure that was a very fun game, though low scoring, a lot of athletes on that field.
A little shout out here for the San Pedro flag football team. We told you earlier in the year they lost to Banning, 2 of the top teams in the city, along with Eagle Rock. Well, San Pedro got revenge. They beat Banning just yesterday, 25-14. Couple touchdowns for Dalia Davila and 2 more touchdowns for Jada Sanford. Lead the Pirates. The Pirates win it 25-14. They have a very good season going again. San Pedro, a big win in flag football. All right, our city high school football top 10. Let's see who's number 1 again. I guess it's Carson. They were there last week. Why not leave them there? They're still winning football games. 4-3, Birmingham, San Pedro, Palisades, and Kennedy, the top 5.
Yeah, the City Section Open will always be 8 teams, so I wouldn't be surprised if those were your 8. Maybe Garfield sneaks in there and King Drew drops or Venice drops, something like that. Point is the reason why Carson's going to stay at number 1 is their strength of schedule is a little bit better, and they have a quality win over St. Pius, who won a CIF Southern Section Championship last year. So that's a better win than anything Birmingham has. So that'll stay 1-2. Birmingham's best wins against Hart, which is a good win, but that St. Pius win for Carson, pretty impressive.
And Chris Fields, the quarterback
boy.
at Carson. You know, you start talking about City Player of the Years, Chris Fields,
yeah.
and then you got to mention him, Liam Paston of Eagle Rock, certainly Cesar Reyes at Garfield. Obviously, the quarterback at Palisades, Thomas, has had a magnificent year. So those are some of the names that could be the City Player of the Year. All right, let's talk about some of the top performances last week. We do this every week. We think it's a fun segment. Here they are. Jack Hurst, quarterback at Laguna Beach, 7 touchdowns in the win over Fountain Valley. I know you like Jacob Pisano, the quarterback at Hart. Look at that. He did it on the ground and in the air. And, you know, Hart Canyon is a big game in that part of the world. Jaden Jefferson, the quarterback at Cathedral, 4 touchdowns, a lot of yards, and a win over a good Paraclete team. That's a good program, Paraclete out at Lancaster. Moving forward, we had some other great performances this week. Want to showcase. You like the quarterback on top, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, I think, again, I'll kind of repeat what I said at the top. It's more about the time of season for these performances. These are big, big league wins.
I was talking about Dane Weber. I know you like him.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I thought you were talking about the
That's a
Laguna
little
Beach
cue
guy.
there.
Jack Hurst. Yeah, no, Dane Weber's a good guy, man. Does it with his feet, does it with his arm. Chaparral's defense needs to improve, but with him under center, the Pumas always have a chance to win.
Okay, Cesar Reyes, we mentioned him. That's the great performance. Garfield over Southgate. Paul Turner, wide receiver, Birmingham. I love this stat. He caught 3 touchdown passes. That happens. But he also had a 94-yard kickoff return, and they hammered Taft.
Yeah, I always, it's so funny. Jim Rose, I actually spoke to him this week, and Jim Rose, I don't know what it is, man. He, like, hates Taft. He just, he'll tell you, that's the team he just always looks to crush. And I feel like it has nothing to do with anything that's been going on recent because Taft hasn't been very good. I think it has something to do with, like, the Croson days. I don't know if maybe Taft used to thump Birmingham back in the day. I don't know, before Birmingham made its rise. That's what I'm saying. I think there's a little bit of that, so he hammers them every time they play.
You got to go back a ways when Troy Starr was.
Well, Jim Rose was around.
I know he was. He was an assistant coach for
Yeah,
Troy.
that's funny.
Good stuff there.
Thanks.
Darnell Miller. This is one other performance we didn't put up on the board because I wanted to talk about it by itself because it's one-on-one. The young running back from Santee. Get this, Tarek. 502 yards rushing, 5 touchdowns. They hammered Jefferson in the City. 502 yards for Miller?
Yeah, I might need to see the tape on that. Not saying that it's a lie, but that is a lot of yards, and that's all I'll say about that.
What I'll say about this, it's time for Point Counterpoint, our favorite part of the show, I think. Depends on who you believe wins the argument between them. It's not really an argument. It's a discussion. We like each other. All right. What do you think? Should they be able in high school football to return a kickoff out of the end zone? Right now, you can't do it. Tarek?
I think although I'm not exactly against it, I will say there's a reason why the NFL kickoff format has changed. College has kept it the same, which I do think is interesting. So why can't they keep it the same at high school? But I think if the highest level is altering things for safety, maybe the high school realm should look at the same thing, aka not let kids return. Less room for error there, more room for speed, and so on and so forth, where injuries can happen. I get it. I'm cool with no kickoff returns from the end zone.
I'm not. I can't stand the rule. I think it's ridiculous. These are grown men already. These high school kids, they've gotten older. I mean, this is a rule that goes back to the 1920s. I mean, it's crazy that a kid, if the ball goes into the end zone, can't return it. They're not going to get injured. Life is good. These are physically strong, good young men. Have some more excitement. Really, the kick return in high school football is one of the most exciting elements of the game. We do see a lot of kickoffs and punt returns brought back because some teams are just better than others and they dominate the specialty units. But that's when only it's kicked to like the 10 or the 5-yard line. How exciting is it if you have a 105-yard kickoff return? Change the rule. It's ridiculous. I want kick returns out of the end zone. That's my belief. And I think you can tell I'm really, really heated about it.
God.
You didn't like that take at all.
No, I mean, I get the take. No, I mean, I would. You're right. It is fun to see a 105-yard kick return. I'm not mad at that. I also I may not agree, but I understand why the rule's there.
This is the week that St. John Bosco could go down.
No.
They're playing Servite, who's 5-3 and very good.
Yeah.
You don't believe there's a chance at all.
Again, I think you're going to see. I know you're not a big fan of this. However, in the Trinity League and the Michigan, when it comes to league play, you can take a little more weight to it. But comparing scores and opponents, remember, Mater Dei only beat Servite by 10 points. Watch Bosco beat Servite by like 3 touchdowns.
That's my one flaw I see in your game, comparing scores.
Okay, but I've been pretty nails this week. I missed one game all week. The only game I really missed huge whiff was when we talked about, I don't know if you remember the game, Harvard Westlake Birmingham. And I said, Harvard Westlake will win. And Birmingham just boat raced them.
Yeah, but I don't like the fact when you're comparing one game, one score from over here.
Common opponents. And I've watched enough football. I know how teams play. And look, I don't know about now, but you seem like a boxing, like, hey, matchups make fights, right? Styles make fights.
Styles make fights.
So I think there's an element when it comes to football, approach, how teams like to play, identity. When they clash, you can draw something from that.
No, comparing scores is not a good way to go. What is a good way to go is Mission Viejo against Edison. Edison's going to beat him, right?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, no. Luke Fahey, Mission Viejo's rolling. The defense is good. J.D. Hill's probably like the best defensive player in the section. And, yeah, the Diablos. We are in line for a Diablos Griffins Alpha League championship game next week. Not this week, next week.
Miracosta's big and physical and a strong team in the Bay League. Love their line. But now they get Lusinger, who's playing great football. It's a good game.
Yeah, that's a really, really fun game. I think Lusinger is going to have, a slight advantage. Or excuse me, it'll be like a slight favorite despite being on the road. Journey Tonga is their best player.
Yeah, Journey Tonga is a good player. All right, let's move ahead to Orange Lutheran and Santa Margarita. Another fine Trinity League game. Of course, all matchups in the Trinity League are good.
Santa Margarita should be a slight favorite here, but now when we start to see Orange Lutheran play Servite, Santa Margarita, like there's, you got Mater Dei, you got Bosco, and then there's that middle of the table of the Trinity League that could really self-eliminate. There's almost a self-cannibalizing aspect. I would not be surprised if Orange Lutheran found a way to win that game.
San Clemente, this could be a stumbling block for Los Alamitos, although I think the Griffins are too good.
They are. They're too disciplined and too good. But I'm not mad at what there could be a little bit of looking ahead.
A trap game.
Yeah, at the end of the day, you never know. I mean, these are high school kids. And Los Alamitos finishes the year with back-to-back home games as they're vying for this undefeated season. So that's a nice advantage.
Yeah, they're going to have to play a very good Mission Viejo the following week, so that's why they could be looking ahead, and San Clemente could be dangerous. How about Valencia and Hart? This is a great game in the Foothill League.
Yep, a classic. This is like Lakers Celtics kind of stuff, and in regard to two storied programs. They don't necessarily like each other competitively, and I think it'll make for a great crowd and a great atmosphere, but give me the Vikings.
Let's jump into the city section in the Coliseum League. King Drew and Crenshaw, both 7-1 for the league crown, and probably open division playoff berth.
Yep, no, you're right. I think that's what I was going to say. Whoever wins this game is going to the open. And you saw Crenshaw against Cleveland, if I'm not mistaken, earlier this year. And I was surprised. Crenshaw looked pretty good. I think I'm going to go Crenshaw for that game.
I agree. Crenshaw's got a lot of athletes, and they're playing for Robert Garrett, who's not on the sideline. He's got an issue with his district, and got an interim coach in there. But I just think that Crenshaw, they want to win for Robert Garrett, and I think they'll win this game, and they'll get to the open division and win the Coliseum League. Palisades and Hamilton. This is the quarterback bowl. You got Jack Thomas and, of course, the young man, Thaddeus Bro of Hamilton, who's that brilliant freshman. There could be 100 points scored in this game.
Yeah, I think Hamilton's just a little out of its depth. I can see from the scores lately, I think they lost to University, and then I think they recently lost to Westchester, or maybe vice versa. I think fatigue and just kind of the mull of the year is starting to get to this Elijah Asante coach team. Not saying they're not talented, not saying they don't want to win, but when you roll out there every week with 29 guys, 30 guys at the most, it's hard to get through the season.
The East LA Classic draws 20,000. Garfield's always the favorite, it seems. Roosevelt has not won a lot of games over the last decade in this particular affair. Garfield comes in 6-2. The good news for the Riders, they've won 3 games in a row.
Is this game at SoFi?
East LA.
Oh, it's at the East LA Community College. Oh, okay. So they're not doing it at like the Coliseum and stuff. Okay, yeah, that's cool. I mean, I understand that it's more about, it's a community game, man. It is a community game, and that's what makes it special. Give me Garfield.
And I like it when it's at Weingart Stadium on the campus of East LA. They get everybody there. It fills the house. Seats about 25 or 30, so it looks
still,
totally
it's still
full.
a large venue.
Oh, it is a nice venue. There's no question about that. All right, the game you've all been waiting for, and we're going to have it for you right here on LA 36. Arrowhead Christian and Western Christian. Arrowhead Christian is fired up.
Honestly, I didn't realize Arrowhead Christian only had 1 win. Yeah, that's I don't know.
I would say Western's probably a prohibitive favorite, wouldn't you, Tar?
I would say that they are a favorite, yes.
All right. Rich Estray and Bob Gibson will have the
man.
call. I love those guys.
Fellas.
Maybe it'll be a better game than we think. Maybe Arrowhead will show up, drink some Arrowhead sparkling water or something like that, and make it a good game. Who knows? Some basketball notes, because Tarek loves basketball. Stephen Singleton has retired from Eastville High School, Roosevelt of Eastville, out in that area. Great coach. Won the CIF championship with Braden Burries last year. He was great before that. He had
Dominguez.
at Dominguez when he had Tyson Chandler. So, I mean, I feel bad that he's retiring. He's such a great guy, and we've had some good times. He's been on this show.
Yeah, I get the feeling that he'll be back again. I don't know where and in what capacity, but take a little break. He'll come back and coach. He's just too competitive and he's just too good. So to take a break at the top, not a bad idea. The team wasn't going to be very good this year. I don't think that's anything to do with it. But yes, won a state championship with Dominguez and then won a state championship with Roosevelt back in the day. They had a guard named Mike Mitchell who was really, really good. And then they just won the CIF State Open Division Championship with Braden Burries and that trio of seniors.
Yeah, when Burries' performance last year in the playoffs, it was as good as we've ever seen.
44 points in the state final.
Yeah, he was
Record.
phenomenal. All right, this is an interesting note to me. Taj Ariza checks out of St. John Bosco. Great basketball player, 6'9". It was going to be part of a very good Bosco team. He's going to go play. He's going to transfer to Link Academy in Missouri. Tarek, what about this move?
Yeah, I just think it's another indicator that there is more business woven through high school sports than we think. And so NIL and monetary incentive is there. It always has been, but it's now more than ever. And I would even argue there's some transparency about it too. So Taj Ariza, look, I talked to Matt Dunn, the coach at St. John Bosco, and I said, hey, did they talk to you about it? What was that like? And he said, they called me. He goes, he was at, I don't know what day this is, but he was at practice. Let's just call it a Tuesday. At practice, all is well. Tuesday night, late, gets a call. Hey, coach, I'm transferring. It wasn't even a discussion about, hey, coach, I'm thinking about this. No, I'm leaving, and then that's it. He was gone.
We're going to be leaving momentarily. Dodgers or Blue Jays? World Series starts tomorrow.
I mean, how can I pick against the Dodgers? Dodgers in 6.
Dodgers in 6, so you think they're going to win in Toronto in Game 6?
Sure.
I don't know who's going to win it. Gets to a World Series, it's always flip a coin. I know Dodger fans believe they're going to win.
Their bats are hot, man. That gives them a chance.
Not just the bats, it's the Dodger pitching staff makes them the favorite.
The starting pitching staff is good. No, there's no question they're going to be the favorite. But if those bats stay hot, the bats are so good for the Dodgers, Randy. It's not a good recipe for success. I'm not saying that. But they're so hot and so good, it can make up for any pitching ailments they might have.
And we'll make up for any ailments we had on this show next week. That's going to wrap it up for the father.
Camera 2.
He's the father of 7 different jobs around Southern California.
My gosh.
And the father of 2 babies now. He's doing well. He's
Isla and Alden.
I'm Randy. For our entire LA 36 crew, we'll see you
That was horrible.
next
my
week,
worst toss I've ever
right
had.
here on SoCal Prep Report. His strength has been sapped because he's been on Baby Watch. You like the material there? It's pretty good.
Very soft and nice.
It's very good. I did not pick it out.